At the end of the day, it's still a Kia, right? Well, that's not entirely a bad thing anymore because this Kia pumps out 368 horsepower. It'll do 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds, and it has Brembo brakes. My name is Omar, and this is the 2022 Kia Stinger GT, and it stings like a bee. And that was corny, I'm sorry, it just came out. All right, let's address something first. I'm tired of everybody hating on Kia, Hyundai, and Genesis for their alleged quality issues. Yes, they've had trouble in the past, but they have come a long way, and we kind of need to move on from that. I mean, I don't see anybody giving Tesla any hate for their quality issues. No one in the comments section ever goes, oh, at the end of the day, it's still a Tesla. Because in my opinion, Kia, Hyundai, and Genesis now have far more superior quality than a Tesla. Yeah, I said it. Go fight me in the comments. Speaking of Tesla and electric cars in general, this is apparently the last time that we're gonna see a Stinger. Rumor has it that the Stinger will be discontinued in the second quarter of 2022. And apparently after that, the Stinger will make its return as an electric vehicle. Nothing has been officially confirmed by Kia. So until that happens, let's talk about the new 2022 Stinger. And really, it's pretty much the same as the outgoing Stinger. Looks-wise, no major changes have been made besides some new wheel designs, upgraded lights, and a larger exhaust. Inside, again, nothing too major besides some new materials and a larger infotainment screen. Drive-wise, also no major changes at all unless you're going for the base GT line Stinger. That gets an increase of 45 horsepower for a total of 300, so that's pretty significant. The Stinger GT, on the other hand, the one that I'm driving here, sees an upgrade of a massive 3 horsepower for a total of 368. It'll still do 0 to 60 in about 4.5 seconds, and it's still fun to drive, and it's still quite a bargain. The Stinger GT starts at around $43,600, and at that price tag, this is still one of the best sports sedans that you can buy. So how does it stack up against rivals? Well, let's find out. Let me give you a quick tour, and then I'll give you my opinion on whether or not if you should consider buying this over the competition. Make sure you hit that like button because it really helps me out. Make sure you hit subscribe. All right, let's do this. All right, let's kick off this tour by taking a look at some of the cool and interesting things that you should know about the new 2022 Stinger, but not much has changed from the last model year. So we're gonna kick it off with a quick launch control. To launch control the Stinger GT, you just put it in sport mode and turn off traction by holding down this button until you see traction and stability control disabled in the gauge cluster. It's as simple as that. And then you put your foot all the way down on the brake, accelerator all the way down, and then you'll see launch control ready. You release. Not bad at all. So yeah, moving on, not much has changed for the 2022 model year, and a lot of the cool and interesting upgrades are very similar to the ones you saw in my Kia K5 GT or Hyundai Sonata N-Line review. So I'll go ahead and link those two in the description below, but I'm not going to leave you hanging, so let's do a quick rapid fire session. The Kia Stinger comes standard with a 10.25-inch touchscreen display across the lineup, and it's very smooth and easy to use. Now, you don't have a full digital gauge cluster display, and that's totally okay. You don't always have to be that fancy. Nonetheless, you still get these useful blind spot cameras like you do on other high-end Kia, Hyundai, Genesis models. You also have a 360 surround view on the GT2. You've got sounds of nature so you can take a break from your crazy life. Of course, a lot of the Kia Stinger buyers won't care for nature sounds, so you have something called active sound design, which will let you control how much engine noise is pumped into this cabin. You have smart trunk here like other Kia, Hyundai, Genesis models, so as long as your keys are in close proximity of the trunk, it will pop open automatically without you needing to touch anything at all. All right, so let's get into the pricing details. The GT line, the base Kia Stinger, starts at $36,090. The GT1, that's where you get the twin turbo V6, starts at $43,690. And as tested here, this is a GT2. You are looking at $55,655. The base GT line comes pretty packed with a bunch of standard features, including the UVO-Link infotainment system with a 10.25-inch touchscreen display. You get navigation as standard, along with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You also get remote start as standard, along with dual zone climate control and heated front seats. That's pretty cool. And then you have a range of driver assist tech, including lane departure warning, lane keep assist. Hyundai, Kia, Genesis have some of the best lane keep assist, and you also get adaptive cruise control and much more. Stepping up to the twin turbo V6 models, the GT1 gets everything from the GT line, but it also adds 19-inch alloy wheels. You also get a valve exhaust system, launch control, and a limited slip differential. And then you get upgraded Brembo brakes. You also get a really nice ambient lighting system, a nice sunroof, along with some other visual upgrades. The GT2 is obviously the top of the line model, and it gets everything from the other two, plus the smart trunk feature that will pop open your trunk without you needing to touch anything. An upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, which sounds really good. You get a 360 surround view camera along with the blind spot cameras that I showed you earlier. You also get a really nice heads-up display. You also get upgraded Nappa leather seats that are extremely plush and very, very comfortable, along with ventilated seats and a heated steering wheel. In the back, you actually get heated rear seats. So yeah, if you want the top of the line Kia luxury, this is the one to go for. So let's talk horsepower and torque. Power for the Kia Stinger GT that I'm testing here comes from a 3.3 liter twin turbo V6 pumping out 368 horsepower and 376 pound-feet of torque, and that's mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The bigger upgrade of the bigger news for 2022 is the GT line, which is powered by a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine pumping out 300 horsepower, which is a gain of 45 horses over the outgoing model. But yeah, the GT here is capable of going from 0 to 60 in an officially quoted time of 4.7 seconds. I've done it in 4.5 seconds, and you have a top speed of 167 miles an hour. As for drive modes, you're working with Smart, Eco, Comfort, Sport, and Custom, where you can set everything to your personal liking. As for fuel economy, for the GT all-wheel drive specifically, you get 17 city and 24 highway. You have a 16-gallon tank capacity. I'm averaging, after a couple days of driving, a total of, I don't know if you can see it, let me just focus in here, a total of, now I gotta hit OK, 19.7 miles a gallon. Now when it comes to the exterior design, not much has changed at all. It seems like Kia was very proud of the original design, so they've made some very subtle upgrades. You've got a very, very slight redesign to the front end with the optional Stinger signature LED daytime running lights and headlights. And then you get standard LED taillights in the back with a new design that spans the full width of the rear, which is something every automaker is doing these days. And then you have the new Kia logo, and that's really it. I still like the way the Stinger looks, so I'm not terribly upset. And I also think Kia's design team was too busy with the development of the new K5 and the Carnival to be messing around with something that wasn't broken. Now for cargo capacity, let's pop open the tailgate, trunk, whatever you want to call it, with the smart key, just so I can show you how long it really takes. And there we go. And once you get it opened, you have 23.3 cubic feet behind the rear seats and a total of 41 cubic feet with the rear seats folded. So you have plenty of space. Now moving on to the inside, just like the outside, everything is essentially the same besides the new 10.25-inch touchscreen display. And I've always appreciated the interior of the Stinger. It has a great balance of quality, luxury, and comfort. By the way, the only thing I do want to point out really is that the red leather interior that you see here isn't standard, and you can only get it on the GT2, and it will cost you an extra $295, which isn't really that terrible. Rear legroom wise, you're working with a total of 36.4 inches back here. I'm about 6 foot tall. That's my seating position. As you can see, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. What bothers me the most is that my feet can't go under the seat because they're really low. And again, if you get the GT2, you get heated rear seats to keep your rear passengers a little bit comfortable. Now, before I give you my opinion on how the Kia Stinger stacks up against the competition, let me point out a few random things that I'll have to show all of you. You have 4 cup holders, 2 in the front. I don't know why I didn't straighten out that steering wheel, kind of careless of me. And then you have 2 in the back under the rear, or in the rear armrest. And here are what the keys look like to the Kia Stinger. They have the new Kia logo, remote start, and your lock, unlock, trunk, panic button. I like the lock button quite a bit. Door open and close sound from the outside. And from the inside. Pretty solid indeed. Charging game wise, you're working with a USB-A port for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto connectivity and charging. You have a cigarette lighter and you also have a wireless charger. Rear passengers will have to fight over one USB-A port and a cigarette lighter charger, so bring both. And now for an indicator and horn sound test here with the 2022 Kia Stinger GT indicator first. Same old Hyundai Kia Genesis indicator, and now for the horn sound. Oh damn, that is solid. Solid indeed. And now that I've given you a tour, oh, there's a cop. Let me give you my opinion on how this stacks up against the competition. All right, let's get to it. So what really is the competition for the Stinger? Kia obviously thinks that it goes head to head with some of the best luxury sedans out there, and it definitely can, but I don't think anybody that has the money and is considering buying an Audi S4 BMW M440i Grand Coupe, the Mercedes-AMG C43, or even the Genesis G70 is going to consider a Stinger. That is a very tough sell, and I get it, but if you're considering buying an Audi A4, the BMW 430i Grand Coupe, or the Mercedes-Benz C300, the Kia Stinger, the GT1 to be specific, becomes a very compelling option. Not only does it come packed with a long list of impressive standard features, but it outshines those base entry-level luxury sedans when it comes to performance. All you have to do now is get rid of your badge bias or your brand bias, and to help you do that, the Stinger GT will help you win a lot of races against buyers of those entry-level luxury sedans, and I promise you, you're going to love to see their faces when you do that. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you hit like, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Peace. And by the way, throughout the week that I've had this, I've parked this in grocery stores, and a lot of people have come up, taken photos of it, looked inside. So there's quite a bit of interest, even though the Stinger has been out for a few years now.